Hello. I was gonna say good morning. It's not morning. It is 8 o'clock. I'm tired. It's been a long day. My kids are still awake. They're a little wild right now. So if you see some running and laughing and screaming, that would be my boys running around. And so just forewarning. I'm gonna wait a few minutes to see if anybody pops on. I'm not sure if anybody actually mixed at the same time. Fed their starter at the same time I did this afternoon. So if they're doing the mix along or if everyone's just doing the replay, I'm not sure. So I'll just wait a few minutes. I know I resent the recipe to a lot of y'all after the first video. So I'm assuming that y'all are gonna be doing the replays, which is fine. But either way, I'll just wait a few minutes. We are going to go ahead and mix our dough. I'm gonna make sure that I can see comments. I don't know how to deal with this thing. So if you don't have the recipe, number one, message me. But I did write the ingredients like at the top in the description. It should show. I typed it all up, so it better show the ingredients that I'm doing. So if you're watching it, FYI, the ingredients are up there that we're gonna do. Here's the starter that we fed this afternoon on the live at 2 o'clock. You can see where I had marked it. I can't see because the little comment thing's in the way, but here's what when I fed it this morning, this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Remember, we did the 1:3 ratio. We fed it. It was right here. It has more than doubled. It's pretty much tripled. I went ahead and marked it about like 10 minutes ago because I was just curious if it was going to rise anymore. It looks like it's done. It's tripled. I'm gonna show you the inside so that you can see that there's bubbles on top. So here we go with the bad angle. Sorry, I'm trying to flip this over. So you can see the bubbles have risen to the top. There's no dome on it anymore. Like you can tell that it has puffed up. You see, you don't see any dome. Whenever we first fed it, it was flat. It did the dome and now it's flat again. It's got that wavy texture on the top and you can see bubbles now. So that's your sign, and it's tripled in size. We started here at 2 o'clock. Now what time is it? 8, well, we fed it more like at 2:30, but close enough. So 6 hours later, it has tripled in size, and I just kept it on the counter, and it is active and it is ready to use. Bubbles on the top. This is what yours should look like. It should be jiggly, bubbles on top, and at least doubled. In my case, it tripled, but doubled is fine. And at this point, what it'll do is it'll stay at this point for a little while, and then it'll start going back down. Slowly but surely, and at that point is whenever it's considered discard. So this recipe calls specifically for active starter. It has no yeast in it, like commercial yeast, so that's why I need active starter. Some bagel recipes will use discard, and in addition to the discard, meaning not active, so in other words, they would have waited until this have gone all the way down and then they would have used it. In those recipes, typically they have additional yeast added to it to help it rise because they're just using the discard. In this case, we want this fluffy live active starter because we have no yeast in here. This is just this is it. This is my yeast. This is my leavening agent. So that's why we want it active. But you can still make bagels with discard if you want to. There are recipes out there for discard, but this is not it. This is active. So just a little explanation there for you. All right, let's just go ahead and get started because it's late and my kids are refusing to go to bed, so we'll deal with that later. All right, so like I told you earlier, I'm doubling the recipe. So, oh yes, you do need a mixer for this. You don't have to use a mixer. Like this is the bowl of my standard mixer. You can hand, if you can hand. If you don't, this is different than bread. Like you need a mix. You need a what's the word? Not mix it, but yeah, mix it. But knead. I can't remember what the word was. Knead it. So if you don't have a mixer, I'm doing it the lazy way. I am just going to use my mixer because this needs to be worked really good until it meets that window pane, which I'll show you in a little bit. So if you don't have a mixer, a standard KitchenAid, whatever mixer, then you're going to just get it on your counter and you're going to work it, okay? But in my case, I'm just going to measure everything into my standard mixer bowl. And I think it says it in the instructions. I'm curious now. Yeah, in the bowl of a stand mixer. But if you don't have that, then you could just work it, okay? All right, so I'm gonna add the water. So we need 255 grams of water. In my case, I'm doubling it, so I'm gonna add a little more, but 255 grams. And I'm using a kitchen scale. Hold on, before I lose my math. 255 plus 255. This is just, you know, I mean, you can use sink water. Some people use sink water, you know, just tap water. I'm not a fan of that just because, you know, that's just me, my preference. But if that's what you want to do, then that's perfectly fine. Use whatever kind of water you need. 502. Now, bagel dough is definitely thicker than the bread that you're used to, so it's gonna be thick. I added too much, darn it. But that's okay. Okay, that's supposed to be that way. Oh man, come on. All right, it's good enough. Okay, so I got my water. I always like to add my water and starter first, okay? And then get those into the milky texture. So I got my water, my active starter that we fed earlier. It's active, it's ready, it's tripled, it is bubbly, it is jiggly, it is active, okay? And I want to use it at its peak. Whenever someone says, make sure your starter's at the peak, this is it, okay? It's tripled, it's doubled, it's bubbly, all the things. So I need 100 grams of, where's my spatula? I have my starter. So whenever you go back and follow along, 100 grams of starter, pouring it straight into my water. I hope I hope I made enough. You know, because I was doubling it, so whenever I'm talking, like I can't talk and think at the same time. Is anybody like that? Am I the only one? Like I'll start, like if I'm talking or if someone's talking to me and I'm writing, like I'll start writing what the person's saying. So if I'm talking while I'm measuring or doing math, like I will do it wrong. So all that to say, I hope I fed this enough. Kimberly, I love how you are exact. Many wing it. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on my mood. Sometimes, on some things I will wing it, but on some things like bagels and bread, I'm like, I want it to be exact. Like I can't. Because it'll change it, you know what I mean? If I'm cooking like food, you know, like making whatever, then I'll wing it. But for sourdough, I like to be exact. Not to say that you don't have to be. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, I do like to be exact. I still need some more. I'm running low. Maybe I didn't do my measurements correctly. And you know what? If I don't have enough exactly for what the recipe, oh yeah, I have enough. Woo! Now I'm over. If I don't have exactly enough, then it's okay. It doesn't mean that, oh, I can't do it anymore. You can still do it. Woo! You could still do it. Oh, I should have got a napkin. Just keep in mind that if you don't have quite enough starter that your recipe calls for, it will rise slower than if you had the full amount that the recipe calls for. But not all is lost. If I didn't have enough, it would still work. I would just mental note, it's gonna rise slower. So I did have enough, like perfect. I have like a tablespoon left, so woo! But just FYI, because I've had that happen before. People are like texting me in the middle of the recipe, I don't have enough! And I'm like, it's okay. I'm gonna go get something to wipe my hands off. Yeah, the other day I had someone message me. It was like a Friday night, and someone sent me a message. She's like, I'm sorry to bother you, but it's a Friday night, and I'm an old lady apparently, so I make bread on a Friday night, and I, you know, freaking out, and I was like, it's okay. I'm actually doing the same thing. All right, so I'm just gonna mix. All I got is my water and my starter, and I like to get these blended in first. Okay. Just gonna get that until it's a nice. I'm gonna tip this over until it's a nice milky texture. All right. Nice milky texture. And another thing I don't like to add, what I like to add in last is the salt. Because if you have ever poured in salt directly in like yeast and salt don't like mix. They want, I mean, together, just them two. It'll turn into slime. Like when I first did it, like in here, I put in the salt and just the liquid, and it literally turned to slime. And I'm like, what just happened? I mean, it's not gonna hurt it, but it just turned into slime, and I just did not like it. So I always put the salt in last, above my, after my flour. So, but again, whatever. Just, I couldn't handle the texture of the slime because it was like, it just wouldn't, and it was just driving me nuts. All right, so I got my starter. Now this one calls for sugar. You can use honey. You can use any sugar sweetener you want. You could add maple syrup if you like to. I've never added maple syrup to bagels, but that might be kind of good. You know, it's kind of a little, you can add molasses, whatever floats your boat. Hey Mom, hey Teresa, hey Mom, hey Kendall, Lynn, Mary, Alicia, thank y'all for watching. Kimberly, Amy, thank y'all for watching. Thank you for being here. Oh! That's what I get for trying to review the comments. Let me know if y'all are going to watch the replays and do them later. All right, so back on my scale, I'm zeroing it out, and then I'm going to measure. Mary, I recently acquired a new starter, which I'm using for the bagel project. It's not nearly as bubbly. Hold on, I gotta scroll. Not nearly as bubbly as yours at this point. I'm going to wait a little longer and hope it livens up. Okay, great. Yeah, sometimes, especially if it's been in the fridge for a long time, or you know, a week or 2 weeks, without being fed, it's still fine, but sometimes it just needs a little extra day to liven up. That doesn't mean anything's wrong with it. It was sleeping, okay? And sometimes it just needs a time or two. So good idea, Mary. I like it. All right, so I'm just gonna use sugar, and I'm just using, this is raw cane sugar, but use whatever you want. Use honey, use whatever you want. So 40 grams. Again, I should have sent you all the recipe, and if not, I put the recipe on the description. It should be there, or just message me if you need the recipe. I'm doubling it, so I know it looks like I'm adding a lot of sugar, but I'm doubling it, okay? Don't forget that. And you can add less sugar if you want, and I actually don't typically add all the sugar. That is a lot of sugar. So I normally do like 1.5 for the sugar. But bagels are a little bit more of a sweet, you know. But if you're making all, you know, like savory bagels, like jalapeno cheddar or whatever you're making for toppings, then don't add the sugar. But if you're doing some, you know, some cinnamon swirl, some chocolate chip bagel, you know, depending on what you're going for, I mean, you don't have to add the sugar. It's not going to hurt it. In my opinion, just like, even if it's just like a teaspoon of sugar, it enhances the flavor big time. So, or honey, you know, honey's fine. All right, I'm just mixing the sugar in. Next, I'm gonna do my flour. Like I said, I don't want to put the salt in there because I don't want to turn it into slime. So I have a humongous bucket that I keep my flour in because I do such bulk stuff. So that's why I'm like pulling from down here. It's because I have a huge bucket down here. So I need 500 grams of flour. Now it calls for bread flour in the recipe, but you can use whatever flour. You can use all-purpose flour. This is all-purpose flour, so I'm doing all-purpose flour. I mean, I could use bread flour, but I like to save my bread flour for bread. I use the King Arthur. Typically, most common, I'll use King Arthur bread flour. I'm sorry, King Arthur all-purpose flour. And it has almost the exact same amount of protein than the bread flour does. So meaning it'll be stronger and have more. So I'm like, it's literally less than 1% of a difference between the King Arthur all-purpose and the King Arthur bread flour. So it's not going to make that big of a difference. So I just use all-purpose flour. So do what you got. All right. I'm just going to make Okay, so 500 grams of flour. And again, I'm doubling the recipe, so don't pay attention to how much I'm putting in there. I'm putting a lot more. Than the recipe calls. I'm just hoping I do the math right. I remember when I was in school, you know, just a typical kid, you're like, I'm never going to use math, blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm like, I'm not going to be a scientist. I'm not going to be a mathematician. I don't need math. Dude, I don't know. I was going to turn out to be a baker. And man, baker's math. That's a woo. I needed the math. It's incredible. The math that you use in baking. I get confused sometimes. Oh my goodness, come on now. Okay. Close enough. Okay. And then my salt. Salt. I believe it's 10 grams. Yeah, 10 grams. Okay. You can use whatever salt you want. Some people use pink Himalayan. Whatever, I used sea salt. Okay, so since I'm using the mixer and I don't want it to floof everywhere and I don't have a top for this, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of pre-mix it just a little bit so I don't like destroy my counter full of flour. And then I'm gonna have to move. Oh, I didn't get my thing out. Oh man, I'm not prepared. And you're just gonna use, oh, where's my dough hook? Oh no. I may have to just need this after all. I have to go find my dough hook. Oh no. I used it yesterday. But you know, when you got kids, they take stuff and you have no idea. I mean, I keep all my stuff pretty well hidden, but darn it. I have to go look for it. Maybe I'll just hand do it. I don't want to hand do it. Anyways, I'm just mixing so that it doesn't, and I'm going to go look for my dough hook for my mixer, okay? Pause. Found it. All is well. I'm not gonna hand mix. I mean, does anybody else have carpal tunnel? I have carpal tunnel. I mean, I do all hand mixing with my regular loaves, even my big batch loaves, but I have carpal tunnel, and I play the piano, and that's a lot of that too, and then a lot of mixing, and like, my hands, like if I don't have to, I ain't gonna do it, all right? So it's not me being lazy, it's just my hands hurt. All right, so I just roughly mixed it, and now I'm going to put it in my mixer. So I'm going to take you along over here. Be right back. I'm going to take you with me. Now, okay, so the recipe says that you use the dough hook of your mixer and mix on the lowest speed for 6 to 7 minutes until it passes the window pane test. Do any of you know what the window pane test is? I'll show you. But basically, the window pane test is you pinch off a little piece of the dough and you stretch it and you see how far you can stretch it before it starts to tear. So you want it to be able to be kind of stretchy before you stop mixing. So trying to turn this around. All right, so I have my stuff in here and I am just gonna go for it. It does not take 6 to 7 minutes. Well, look, it's still floofing everywhere. So I don't know why that says 6 to 7 minutes, but I really want to show you the window pane test. And it says low. But I start low just so that the flour is incorporated, and then I let it whip. I let it go because it'll get to window pane a lot faster. It ain't never gonna do it that slow. Come on. You know, I'm gonna have to go get my spatula. I'm taking you with me. I gotta get my spatula. Hold up. There's still a whole bunch of flour in there. Come on. Now, if this were the bread loaf recipe, I would not be doing this. I would be hand mixing it only. You can over mix your loaf, your regular sourdough loaf. Again, this is not yeast, commercial yeast. This is wild yeast. So you can over mix and break the gluten structure in a loaf, but not in the bagels. The bagels are pretty hearty, and they're a dense loaf anyway, a dense bread anyways, so that's okay. But if it were a loaf, just FYI, I would not be doing this. All right, I'm gonna let it go. Let it go. Come on, it's gonna fall out. I need a bigger mixer, so it's on my wish list. Because I can barely fit 2 in here, and it's already like trying to climb out. So if anybody wants to donate to the Big Mixer Fund, no, I'm just playing. All right, so I'm going to show you. All right, I'm going to stop mixing it. Let me try to turn this around. How do I turn this around? There we go. I'm going to stop mixing it. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to try to do the window pane that I was talking about, okay? Can you see this? There we go. Okay. So I'm going to try to do a window pane, right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch off a piece of dough. Can you see me? I can't see the screen, so I hope you can see this. I'm going to, pinch up and then try to stretch it. To see how far I can go, boom, look, it's starting to tear, okay? And I don't like that. So I'm going to let it go a little bit more. I want it to go a little bit further until it won't tear. So I'm going to go a little bit more. Not much. It's almost there. Almost there. Like it went pretty far, but I want a little more than that. I'm going to help you go to the room now, please. Thank you. It's 8:25. Back in there. I'll let it go like a few more minutes. Not even 1 minute. All right, let's just check the window pane again. Let's see what it looks like. It's gonna be very thick, very tough, and that's a-okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. All right, I should have left it on there so that you could see. Okay, I'm gonna pinch up a piece. Let me see if I can get this closer. I feel like I need to be closer. Okay. All right, I'm pulling it up and I'm gonna stretch. See how far I can stretch it before it tears. Oh, there it's tearing. So it's actually pretty good. I'm gonna take it, I like my dough to be strong. So I'm gonna go a little longer. But you see what I mean when I'm talking about the window pane? Can you see it? Somebody tell me. See y'all watching. Somebody comment if you could, that you can see this view and that you can actually see what I'm talking about. It's looking like a really pretty dough. It really is. See a couple of hearts and likes. I assume that means yes, you can see. Yes. I hope so. I have to go rewatch it myself later and be like, I hope y'all can see. All right, let's try this again. It's looking really good. Oh yeah, see, it's already smoother. It's really smooth. And again, this is, like I said, it's a thick dough. Like, look at this baby. So I am going to pull and just kind of gently stretch to see how far I can go before it starts to tear. Look at that. You see the difference? How now I can go pretty far. Look how far I can go and it's still not tearing. Still not tearing. It's actually see-through. Like, you can't tell in this lighting, but I can actually see through it. And look how far it can go and it's still not tearing. So that's the window pane, and that's what you're looking for. Mix it until you get there, till it passes window pane test. Whenever it says until it passes window pane test, that's it. So at this point, now I can't get it off this. Oh my gosh. Well, I can't get it off of this mixer. So that's it. So now I'm just going to literally, I mean, you don't have to make it into a pretty ball, but you know, let's go ahead and make it neat, okay? So I'm going to make it into a nice little ball. It's a very thick dough, but it's smooth. It's a smooth, thick, stiff dough, okay? But even though it's thick, it's nice. And anybody just love dough? I saw this thing the other day where it was talking about that, saying that the bread makers or the sourdough people are just slime kids all grown up. And I'm like, oh, it is. Because I just love just getting my hands in the dough. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. Anyways, okay. Oh, I finally got it off. So it's in there. I'm going to leave it in the same bowl. I'm going to transfer it to a new bowl, whatever. I'm not going to get another one dirty. So I'm going to leave it in here. And I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap. And I'm going to leave it on the counter. That is it. So literally, I mean, it took forever because, you know, I was on here. But you put your ingredients together. You mix it in your mixer until it reaches window pane, which we just talked about. And then you leave it. Like, that's it. Okay? So if anybody says that that is difficult or bagels intimidate you, it's not. It really isn't. Once you see it, it really is easy. And I'm going to let it ferment. Since it's the winter and it's a lot cooler, I'm going to let it overnight. I'm just going to leave it on the counter with plastic wrap on it, foil, whatever. Something a little bit more than just a towel, because the towel, a lot of air can still significantly, a lot of air can get through there more than you would expect, even if it's just, so I've had it to where I've just put a towel, even if it's damp, whatever. It's kind of dry and crusty, and I'm like, no, you want something that's going to keep the moisture in. So plastic wrap, foil, a lid. You know, my thing comes with a lid, but this lid, but it has this, who came up with that? This KitchenAid, like, who came up with that? So I want it to rise, so I'm not going to put this lid on there. So I'm going to put something else, something to keep the moisture in there and so it doesn't get all crusty. But it's in here, our dough is mixed, and you just let it sit here. And then tomorrow, I mean, you can let it sit, again, depending on temperature, 12 to, I think one time I even left it for like 14 hours. Just, bagels are a lot more forgiving than bread. So you can literally put it there and forget about it for 12 hours. So I'm just going to let it here, and then tomorrow morning I'll check on it and I'll show you what it looks like to make sure that it's looking good and it's fully, here I'm using the plastic wrap, that it's fully risen and fully proofed. But that's it. And then tomorrow we will actually pour it out, plop out the dough, and then we will shape the bagels. And I'm going to do, again, this is a double recipe because I had one that was just all plain, 8 plain, but the other 8, I will do some inclusions or toppings on it. I think I shape mine a little bit differently than most, I think. I like to add stuff on the inside and not just topping on the outside. Like if I want a cinnamon sugar. Sorry, I hear the kids screaming. Their dad's with them, so they're not alone. They're not alone. But I don't want it just on the outside. Like I want it in it. So I literally go the extra mile and add it on the inside for my cinnamon sugar and chocolate chip. We can do some chocolate chip. Comment below on the video if you want, what do you want me to do tomorrow? Do you want me to do chocolate chip? Do you want me to do cinnamon sugar? Sorry, they're screaming. And then, yeah, so we'll do that tomorrow, but that's it. Did you see how easy it was? You mix your dough, put it in the mixer until it mixes window pane, and you leave it till 12 hours later. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And if you still need the recipe, let me know. And if not, then I am going to go try to get these guys down. And tomorrow morning, I'm assuming, what time is it? It's 8:30. I'm assuming tomorrow, bye. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Brenda. I'm assuming tomorrow around 6 o'clock, but you know, give or take. So y'all are probably watching the replay anyway. So when do we see you again? Mary, I plan to be here around 6. So at 6 o'clock, it should be ready. It's 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 10 hours. So I could probably let it go more, but I plan to be here at 6. Janet, you want chocolate chip and cinnamon. Okay, so I will definitely do that. That way you can see how I add it on the inside. So we'll definitely do that. Chocolate chip, cinnamon, and I'm going to do some plain. I mean, and the other stuff I don't necessarily put on them. It's mainly the cinnamon and the chocolate chip. That's, I mean, you can't just have chocolate on top. Like, it has to be in it. So I will definitely do that. And all right, so y'all have a good night. I'm gonna go get these kids down, and thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Good night, y'all. Thank you. I hope so too. Michelle, are you doing them too, and your daughter doing them? I hope they turn out. If she's already doing the bread, she needs to try the bagels, because these are even easier. So all right, good night, y'all. Yes, Michelle, please I am so excited. I told my husband about it. I was like, that was me when I was her age. I was so excited when I saw that picture. And so yes, keep me posted on her bread. All right, good night, y'all. We'll see you later. See you tomorrow, 6 o'clock.